What's so difficult about it? Asked Chase, his expression flat and emotionless. Mike continued. His father is a shareholder in the restaurant group with a particular interest in City Grill. I don't have the authority to fire Tony. The power rests with the majority shareholders. Tony could barely believe what he was hearing. Hey, Chase, what gives, man? He yelled before turning his attention to Mike. Mr. Reyes, don't listen to this guy. He's a complete fraud. We went to college together, I know him. He could barely afford his monthly rent. There's no way he can ask for my dismissal. He's just out for revenge. Chase ignored Tony's tirade and continued to speak calmly to Mike. As of 10 minutes ago, I am the majority shareholder of the Smith Restaurant Group. As such, I think we can all agree that I have the absolute authority to fire this man. Tony flew into a fit of madness. Chase? Rothman, are you out of your mind? First, my uncle and father would never sell their interest in the restaurant group. And second, it's over before you have the money to make a purchase that big. Mike's defense to Chase was souring. Mr. Rothman, I, too, am a shareholder in the Smith Restaurant Group. I should have been notified in advance of such a large transfer of shares. Are you sure there hasn't been a mistake? Feel free to check. Chase shot back curtly. Tony continued to laugh. Chase, come on, nobody's buying it. It's just pathetic at this point. If I were you, I'd leave now while I still have some shred of dignity left. Ignoring Tony's blabbering, Chase took out his cell phone and downloaded a photo of the transfer agreement that Tim had just sent him. He showed it to Tony and Mike, who looked down in shock. It was, in fact, an agreement on official company letterhead between Chase Rothman and the board of directors of the Smith Restaurant Group. Let me take a look, shouted Tony, grabbing the phone from Chase's hand. He began to mutter to himself. Was Chase really the majority shareholder of the group? How was this possible? Did he even have the money to make the purchase? Or was this just part of an elaborate ruse to embarrass him? Tony wasn't about to roll over without a fight. He immediately pulled out his cell phone and called his father. After all, his father and uncle were both shareholders in the company, each having invested a great deal of money. Together, they were a force within the company. Stuart answered his son's call. Tony knew that his mother was likely listening in as well. Dad, he said, did someone just buy the majority shares in the restaurant group? Is it true? Stuart let out an exasperated sigh, frustrated that his son had interrupted his evening plans for such a ridiculous question. He hadn't heard anything of the sort. He had told his son in no uncertain terms not to bother him again and hung up the phone. Tony's mouth rose into a smile. He'd received confirmation from a trusted source that Chase was, in fact, a fraud. All right, Chase, you're done for. My dad hasn't heard anything about the sale. Apologize now and you could still save yourself. Go on. Otherwise, I'll have you and your friends here arrested for trespassing and drunken disorderly conduct. Chase's expression remained unchanged. He didn't doubt that Tony's father hadn't heard the news. His father's shares, while valuable, paled in comparison to what Chase had just purchased. His consent wasn't required for the sale to go through. Chase gleefully conveyed as such to Tony. What? Tony flew into a rage. Shut up! My dad has invested significantly, more than you could even hope to earn in a lifetime. Mike finally spoke. Mr. Rothman, are you sure there isn't some type of misunderstanding here? There's no misunderstanding, replied Chase. After all, deals like this often happen on a need-to-know basis. I'm not surprised that neither of you are aware, but I'm sure you'll receive notification soon enough. After hanging up on his son, Stewart turned his attention back to his wife, who was patiently waiting to resume watching the movie she had selected for their date night. She had just hit play on the remote when her husband's cell phone rang again. He took it out of his pocket, prepared to silence it, and saw the caller ID. His face went white with shock. He slowly brought the phone up to his ear and heard the news. The information went like this. The majority of the shares in the Smith Restaurant Group has indeed been transferred to one Mr. Chase Rothman. Stewart and his brother had lost their voting power, and with it the ability to affect change within the company. He practically jumped off the couch. Everything his son had said over the phone was true. Who could have made such a deal in one night? And why hadn't he been informed? He paused, remembering that his son was with someone claiming who had just purchased the group. Where was Tony now? Stewart only hoped that his son had enough sense not to insult the new majority shareholder. Back at City Grill, Tony was, in fact, insulting the new majority shareholder. Chase, he screamed, you're an actual... You act so superior when you have not a cent to your name. Even your wife wants to leave you. Tony thought he should give Chase a nickname, pulling out money and status from thin air and flaunting it around for all to see. It was just a charade. Chase, he continued, it's time to stop this performance of yours. We all know the truth. Chase smiled. He knew he had the upper hand. Tony, Tony, Tony. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it isn't real. Just because you think $20 million is a lot of money doesn't mean that it is. I can tell you this, though. The amount of money in my bank account is more than you could ever imagine. This was too much for Tony to take in. Tony laughed and then steeled himself for what he was about to say. Prove it then. Prove to us that you are who you say you are. And if you can't, I will do more than just have you arrested. Don't worry, smirked Chase. You'll have your proof soon enough. Tony narrowed his eyes and prepared to instruct the security guards to grab Chase. But before he could give the word, his phone rang. It was his father. He looked at the phone in confusion. His father had just yelled at him for interrupting his date night. Why would he be calling back? He picked up the phone and his father's voice ran out loud and clear. You better not be causing trouble at the restaurant. Who are you with right now? Tony was stunned. Dad? He said. What's going on? Tony, barked his father. Is Mr. Rothman with you? Mr. Rothman? Tony stammered. He told his father he was with Mike and Chase and a few of Chase's friends. You have no clue what you've done, do you? Scolded Stewart. Pass the phone to Mr. Rothman immediately. I'll try to undo this mess. His father's tone was so serious that Tony didn't dare waste another moment. He ran over to Chase and handed him the phone. My father would like to speak with you.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.